Mega Magic Bricks Now expose in Mumbai. Government agencies cut down 52 full-grown trees to make way for an elevated corridor. Promised to transplant them, but leave them to rot.
Mr. Nimbalkar sir is a honest officer, तो हमारे मुताबिक उनको वापस यहाँ पे आना चाहिए.
अच्छे लोगों का तारीफ होना चाहिए और ऐसे लोग हमारे उल्लासनगर के अंदर आवे तो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा अच्छा हो सकता है.
And Thane's Ulhasnagar residents go on an indefinite hunger strike after Municipal Corporation Commissioner Rajendra Nimbalkar is transferred. Citizens demand probe and reinstatement of their hero. Mega Magic Bricks Now impact Class 10 Mumbai student with learning disability finally given a fair chance after we took up the issue. CBSE board grants prescribed concessions. And toxic foam fails to wake up Karnataka government after Belandur Vartur Lake spews toxic foam onto Whitefields roads. You're watching the Urban Debate 360. I'm Amata Balachandra. Straight up to a Mega Magic Bricks Now impact after we reported how a Class 10 student with multiple learning disabilities was denied special concessions during board exams. CBSE forced to take action in less than 24 hours. The student has now been issued a letter granting all the necessary concessions, including extra time and a scribe to write these exams. Richa Sharma gets us the latest.
In what can be seen and said as a major and mega Magic Bricks Now impact, a 10th standard student of a CBSE board student of a South Mumbai school who was suffering and is suffering from learning disabilities of dyslexia and dysgraphia has finally been granted with a permission letter of a concession of time for all the exams moving forward that is going to happen starting from 22nd of March. Now the mother of the student in this case is elated and happy as well as relieved that finally after a whole year of struggle running behind the school authorities, the board as well as the hospital authorities for granting and taking a permission letter from the board, finally this has happened. But at the same time, no writer's provision for the child has been mentioned in the letter so far, but the mother is still hopeful that she can turn around things and she can provide a writer for her son as well. So moving forward, we will always track such stories and see that if in such situations the board will be more sensitive and they will show some consideration for such students who suffer from learning disabilities in the future as well. This is Richa Sharma for Magic Bricks Now.
I am relieved as if at this moment, and I just wished this would have been done long ago. And basically, I'd wish that no child would suffer like this as like my child suffered. And the letter does state that the time concession has been granted to him. Is as per the paper, hours of paper. For the rest of the papers, yes. The writer's provision was to be provided, but somehow I was told that it is in the parents' hand and it's not the responsibility of the school. So, although till date, I have not, I didn't find any writer for my son, but at least as of now, I've got the letter granting my son the, permission, the concessions, at least of the time extension. So, I'm fine with that. I would like to thank the HRD Minister for all the efforts what he's given. I thank Mr. Dr. Shetty also for taking this vigorous step. The both of them who has taken the vigorous step very quickly. I thank your entire team as well, the Magic Bricks team who has even helped me getting this onto the, just fleshing this up.
Moving on now to a mega Magic Bricks Now expose. 52 full-grown trees were cut down to build an elevated corridor from BKC to Eastern Express Highway in the city of Mumbai. The nod to axe these trees was given on the condition that these be transplanted to another location. But these transplanted trees were left to rot. What's more, on paper, the agencies in question, the BMC and the MMRDA, maintain these trees are still alive. MMRDA has even received money for transplanting these trees. Aishwarya Palawal gets us this report.
Magic Bricks Now has exclusive information on the trees that were transplanted by the MMRDA 2 years back when the Eastern Express Highway was being expanded. Now, in these papers, we have proof that BMC had given permission to MMRDA to transplant 52 trees in the year 2015, and those trees were to be transplanted here in BKC. Now, in the reports that were submitted by MMRDA, they categorically say that all the trees that were transplanted are alive and healthy. But just have a look around this area and you will see that out of the 52 trees that were being transplanted when the Eastern Express Highway was being expanded in 2015, 40 of those trees are dead. The MMRDA does not even come here and water these plants. Now, we spoke with a couple of activists and they told us that this is a clear case of apathy by both the BMC as well as the MMRDA. Now, keeping this as a benchmark, now there are talks that the authorities will transplant close to 1,000 trees from RA, which is the only green lung in the city of Mumbai, which purifies the air of Mumbai. 1,000 trees from RA will be transplanted into another area. But a look around here will tell you that clearly authorities are not very keen on saving these trees. Now, in 2015, BMC had given permission for 52 trees, and in the report that MMRD had submitted, they categorically show all these trees as alive. Now, Magic Bricks Now came here to do a ground reality check, and what we find out was dismal. Now, another thing to note here is that the BMC had asked MMRDA to deposit 2,000 rupees per tree with them. And if MMRDA can prove that those trees have been taken care of, 50% was being refunded back to MMRDA. Clearly here, none of the money that MMRDA had deposited, which has gone back into the accounts of MMRDA, has not been utilized. Now, the simple question that Magic Bricks Now is asking, what happened to the money? What happened to the promise that was made to the citizens of Mumbai that the green cover will be taken care of, that the trees that will be transplanted from one area to the other will be taken care of? On ground, the reality is extremely different. But we'll not leave it here. We'll go and have a word with the officer in charge in BMC and ask him why the promise that was made has not been kept.
This business of transplantation, it is rubbish, because these 52 trees which we are talking about, these trees happen to be in MMRDA's background, in its own backyard, where it's easily they can monitor it and protect it and nurture it, but they have failed to do that. That's the insensitivity which the MMRDA has displayed over the years. I request that there should be an audit of all the agencies who have destroyed the trees over the last 10 years or 15 years. You will find that it's a huge scam. And this myth of this so-called transplantation, this word transplantation needs to be done away with. You cannot transplant trees. You do not have the expertise to do it. You do not have the funds to do it. You do not have the funds or commitment to look after a tree. If you are going to spend 35,000 rupees to 50,000 rupees on a tree, then you can say maybe. And that kind of compassion or that kind of valuation doesn't exist in our system today. So it's a failure. It's a complete failure.
52 trees left to die there. In fact, when we got in touch with both the BMC and the MMRDA for an official response for this apathy, despite giving them 3 days, we have not received any response so far. We'll continue to get answers from both these agencies. Moving on now to another story. Residents and activists in Ulhasnagar have decided to go on an indefinite hunger strike to protest against the sudden transfer of Ulhasnagar Municipal Commissioner Rajendra Nimbalkar. He was transferred to Panvel Municipal Corporation within 5 months of taking charge of the civic body. Now, the residents are demanding that transfer orders of Nimbalkar should be revoked with immediate effect. Disha Shah gets us more details.
Residents and activists here in Ulhasnagar, they have gone on an indefinite hunger strike from Friday, from 10:30 a.m. onwards. They are on strike to protest against the sudden transfer of the Ulhasnagar Municipal Commissioner, that's Rajendra Nimbalkar. In fact, what they also tell us is that he has done some really good work in the city, and this sudden transfer has really agitated the citizens out here, and they demand that his transfer orders should be taken back and he should be transferred again back from Panvel to Ulhasnagar. I'm joined here by a couple of citizens who have been protesting here since Friday morning. So starting with you, sir, आप मुझे ये बताइए, आप लोग क्यों hunger strike? You have been on hunger strike since Friday morning. So basically, what is your agenda for the to protest?
See, our agenda is that state government have to reject the transfers immediately on immediate effect, because he is the IS officer in the history of Ulhasnagar. First time citizens of Ulhasnagar got the IS officer, and the budget 700 crore rupees is the budget, and the total corrupt UMC officers, they are doing a very malpractice. He is the person, he control all those things, and certainly within the span of 5 months he took a marvelous jobs. Means citizens are very much fan of that officer. By hook and crook, state government has issued the transfer order, under which permission, what are the real fact actually, how you can remove the IS officer within the span of 24 hours.
Right.
It is not possible, no? So our demand is that you just cancel the transfer immediately.
So if you talk about good work, what good work he has done for this city in the span of 5 months?
Good work as roads and taxes, cleaning, dumping ground, etc. and etc.
मिस्टर निम्बालकर सर इज़ ऑनेस्ट ऑफिसर, तो हमारे मुताबिक उनको वापस यहाँ पे आना चाहिए, उनकी पोजीशन वापस उल्लासनगर में होनी चाहिए।
हमें चाहिए कि उनकी जो जिस परिपत्र से उनकी ट्रांसफ़र की है उसमें ना रीज़न दिया गया है, ना उनको वापस आने की कुछ अश्योरेंस भी नहीं दी गई है, तो हमें वो चाहिए और वो नहीं मिल रहा है।
उन्होंने आने के बाद 2-4 दिन 5 दिन जो भी रहे, लेकिन उनके पीरियड में जो कुछ काम हुआ आज तक किसी ऑफिसर ने दूसरे ने नहीं किया है। सफाई से लेकर पानी तक और पानी से लेकर लाइट तक सभी अच्छा काम किया, और अच्छे लोगों का तारीफ होना चाहिए, और ऐसे लोग हमारे उल्लासनगर के अंदर आवे तो ज्यादा से ज्यादा अच्छा हो सकता है।
Immediately we get a reactions, immediately lot of things can be happened, just give a phone call, they come and do the things and all. That is the main improvement what he has ensured in the working of the Ulhasnagar Municipal Corporation.
So of course here they are, the citizens and the activists, they are demanding that they will protest until and unless the transfer is rejected of the Ulhasnagar Municipal Commissioner, and he's brought here back from Panvel, and they say that if within 2 or 3 days, of course, if things does not materialize and if his transfer orders are not rejected, then they will also appeal to the court. This is Isha Shah for Magic Bricks Now.
देखिए, ये हकीकत है कि ऑल ऑफ सडन जो हमारे कमिश्नर 5 महीना पहले ही आए थे, उनका ट्रांसफ़र हो गया है, और इस सिलसिले में एक अधिवेशन चालू है। मैं कल हाउस में गई थी और मुख्यमंत्री जी से भी मिली, उनको रिक्वेस्ट किया कि एक तो हमारा उल्लासनगर महानगर पालिका के लिए ड्यू नहीं थी कॉरपोरेशन के लिए, उसके बावजूद भी इसको कॉरपोरेशन का दर्जा दिया गया, पर उसके बाद में इतने साल हो गए, 96 में मेरे ख्याल से 6-7 में कॉरपोरेशन बनी थी, तो उसके बाद में कोई IAS ऑफिसर दिया नहीं गया है। ये पहली बार है कि एक IAS ऑफिसर मिले हैं, और उन्होंने अभी शहर पे पकड़ करना शुरू भी की थी, इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शन को भी कंट्रोल करने की बहुत कोशिश की, इलेक्शन भी अच्छी तरह स्मूथली अपने कंट्रोल में चलाए उन्होंने। तो शहरवासी भी बहुत सारे लोग खुशी हैं कि ऐसे जो डैशिंग मतलब जो कमिश्नर हैं वो होने चाहिए। उसके लिए मैं भी कल CM साहब से मिलने गई और उनको रिक्वेस्ट किया, तो उन्होंने मुझे कहा कि ठीक है, पनवेल में इलेक्शन है, उसके बाद में मैं उनको वापस 3 महीने में भेजूंगा। तो मैंने उनको रिक्वेस्ट किया कि साहब अभी उन्होंने इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शन पे पकड़ करना शुरू कर दी है, फिर बीच में डिस्टर्बेंस हो जाएगा। तो बोले ठीक है, मैं 6 हफ्ते के अंदर उनको वापस भेजता हूँ। तो ऐसी खबर मैंने जल्द से उल्लासनगर में भेज दी, और लेटर जो दिया कमिश्नर को वो भी भेजा।
तो ये ऑल ऑफ अ सडन ट्रांसफर की क्या वजह थी? गवर्नमेंट और कमिश्नर ने कुछ बताया है कि ऑल ऑफ अ सडन उनको क्यों ट्रांसफर किया गया उल्लासनगर से पनवेल?
जी बताया कमिश्नर साहब ने, CM साहब ने बताया। उनका कहना है कि जो पनवेल के जो कमिश्नर हैं वो हमारे मंत्री जी हैं, उनके भतीजे हैं, तो इलेक्शन में पारदर्शिता होनी चाहिए और सबको कॉन्फिडेंस में लेकर के, तो फॉर द टाइमिंग हम लोगों ने निम्बालकर साहब को वहाँ बुलाया है, और आपके रिक्वेस्ट पे हम उनको वापस भेज देंगे।
अगर 6 हफ्ते के बाद अगर वापस वो पनवेल से उल्लासनगर अगर नहीं वापस ट्रांसफर बैक हुए, तो आपका क्या फ्यूचर कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन होगा?
मुझे बहुत विश्वास है, CM साहब के जो मुंह के वर्ड्स हैं उनके फ्रॉम हॉर्सेस माउथ में बोल रही हूँ तो मुझे लग रहा है कि ऐसे नहीं होगा, किसी भी हालत में नहीं होगा।
Moving on now, a shocking incident in the city of Mumbai where a 27-year-old woman from Bhiwandi was allegedly gang raped by two men. In a bid to escape from a South Mumbai building where she was locked up, the victim sustained serious injuries. Right now, she is undergoing treatment in JJ Hospital. Both the accused have been nabbed by the police. Richa Sharma gets us more details.
27-year-old lady who had come from UP to Bhiwandi with a village mate of hers, Santosh Kanodia, in search of livelihood, and which she was promised by her village mate, was raped by Santosh Kanodia at his residence in Bhiwandi for over a week. After which Santosh brought her to his friend's house in Paidhuni. Yesterday night, that is on 16th of March, where she was again raped by at least 2 to 3 men, which were the friends of Santosh Kanodia, and one of them was Farooq Khan, who has been arrested by Paidhuni police station in the case of raping this 27-year-old woman, who has been admitted to JJ Hospital as while trying to escape the building in Paidhuni, she fell at around 4 a.m. into a building duct with injuring not just her head but also incurring a few injuries, and also now she is in a semi-conscious state and admitted to JJ Hospital, where the doctors are trying to stabilize her currently after this incident took place. Now the police states that both these accused have been arrested, as well as Section 376D, as well as Section 341 and 5062 of IPC has been lodged on them. And moving forward, the police will carry out their investigation in this matter and try to find out how Santosh managed to bring this 27-year-old woman all the way from UP to Mumbai with the promise of livelihood. And we will keep tracking this case moving forward. This is Richa Sharma for Magic Bricks Now.
Moving on now, in the national capital, it's been 45 days since 8-year-old Ghazal Yadav lost her life following a severe headache after karate tournament at DPS World School in Noida. However, no action has been taken, even when Ghazal's parents have accused the school of sheer negligence. In fact, police has not even filed a charge sheet in this case yet. Deepa Rana gets us more details.
45 days have passed since Ghazal Yadav, 8-year-old Ghazal Yadav, a student of DPS World School, lost her life. On 31st January, Ghazal went to school as any other day, but following a karate competition, she suffered a headache and the school authorities rushed her to a hospital. However, she was brought dead. The parents alleged negligence on the part of the school, while the school authorities claimed that they did all they could to save her life. A case, however, was registered in this case. I have the copy of the FIR over here. The case was registered under 304A, which means unintentional murder and negligence. However, the school has claimed that Ghazal suffered a headache, and because of which she had heavy bleeding, and although she was rushed to the hospital, but they could not save her. On the other hand, the police, we reached out to the police as well, and the SHO Avdesh Avasti, who refused to come on camera to talk to us, told us that the post-mortem was not done in this case, which has led to the investigation a bit slow. The police has to collect evidence now from in terms of CCTV cameras, and statements have been collected of school teachers, doctors as well as the parents. The investigation is on, the police is telling us. However, the parents are now running pillar to post. In fact, even after Magic Bricks Now reported, Women and Child Minister Menaka Gandhi directed NCPCR to take quick action in this case. But although the father of Ghazal Yadav has gone to the NCPCR today, the investigation is on, and the NCPCR has also not received any report from the police side. Meanwhile, the investigation is on. This is Deepa Rana for Magic Bricks Now in Gautam Budh Nagar.
पुलिस तो सिर्फ ये की बात कह रही है कि इन्वेस्टिगेशन चल रही है, कोई पॉजिटिव रिस्पांस नहीं है, बस एक राग अलापा हुआ है कि इन्वेस्टिगेशन चल रही है। आज हम अभी एनसीपीसीआर से मिले हैं, मिस स्तुति कक्कर को, जो चेयरपर्सन एनसीपीसीआर को, उनसे हमने पूछा कि भाई आगे प्रोग्रेस क्या है। उन्होंने कहा कि हमने उनको लेटर भेजा हुआ है डीएम को, जो कि सबसे पहले 27 तारीख को 27 फरवरी को भेजा गया था। फिर अभी उन्होंने रिमाइंडर भेजा है 7 मार्च और एक आज भेजा है। बोल रहे हैं अभी तक कोई जवाब नहीं आया है। उन्होंने कहा वेट करो आप, जब तक इन्वेस्टिगेशन रिपोर्ट नहीं आती हम कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे।
गजल का जो when she lost her life in the time जब स्कूल में वो पार्टिसिपेट कर रही थी और टीचर्स का कहना था कि हम उसको हॉस्पिटल ले जा रहे थे एंड there were lot of loopholes from the side of the school also. The responsibility was not taken by the school properly. Have you reached out to the school authorities in the meanwhile?
स्कूल अथॉरिटीज़ भी कोई रिप्लाई नहीं कर रही है। उन्होंने एक स्क्रिप्ट तैयार कर रखी है कि भाई इसके सिर में दर्द हुआ, हम हॉस्पिटल ले जा रहे थे, उसकी डेथ हो गई। और दूसरा, हम जिसके पास भी गए हैं उन्होंने दूसरा राग अलापा हुआ है, पुलिस से लेकर सब लोग कि ऑटोप्सी नहीं हुई है, किसी ने।
Moving on now, doctors across the state of Maharashtra are up in arms demanding security for doctors in both public and private hospitals. This comes in the wake of a recent incident at a Dhule-based government medical college and hospital where a resident doctor was severely thrashed by the kin of an accident victim. Richa was with doctors who were protesting in the city of Mumbai. Take a look.
If you see what is unique about this attack, this was almost as if like they wanted to murder that doctor. Now, if this is going to be the condition of the doctors who are going to be working in these general hospitals, tomorrow you may not have any doctor who will be going for this postgraduate studies or working in a government hospital unless there is protection.
Yesterday there was an attack on resident doctors, including a lady doctor in Thane Civil Hospital. Day before yesterday there was an attack in Shirpur. Then there was an attack in Nasik. Then the previous day it was in Dhule. If things are going to continue this way, you tell me how can doctors work under an atmosphere of fear? And which parent is going to allow their ward to work in such an atmosphere?
More than 40,000 doctors are on road. This has happened first time in India. Last month also we were on strike, but the Azad Maidan were coming second time. So I think they should respond, they must respond, they should give some good positive result.
We are protesting this attitude and the government's indifference, persistent indifference to the basic workplace security of the medical healthcare professionals.
You need more security. The security must see that people, not more than 2 or 3 relatives per patient comes inside. So the question of somebody coming in and hitting up would not arise.
I think we need to, underline it to the public that this is punishable by law and people do get punished. I think that's very important.
In the meantime, a day before the Maharashtra budget, a back to the basics budget which will focus on making our cities cleaner, our commute smoother and make it easier for citizens to access health and education services across the state. And that's what Mumbaikars really expect from this year's budget. Here's a report.
Infrastructure, very poor, very pathetic.
Mumbai people are wasting more time in traveling.
Better roads, better infrastructure.
Citizens unhappy with the city's failing infrastructure. While the government has hinted at focusing on mega projects like Mumbai-Nagpur Expressway and Versova-Bandra Sea Link in the upcoming state budget, tax-paying citizens of Mumbai are very clear that all they want are good roads and seamless transport facilities. Experts also believe that the government must focus on public transport system.
We're looking at transport, which is one of the biggest challenges that Mumbai faces. Every day it's getting excruciating more and more. So we're talking about public transport, either roads or trains. All forms of public transport really need to be radically changed to make people travel and commute in a more comfortable way.
Good news is that this budget will have no electoral compulsions, meaning it does not have to be a populist budget. This means that the budget can focus on getting the basics right.
The first step that the government should do is to try and bring up the public health spending of the state to at least the national average. The national average is 1.2% of the GDP. So in effect, it means that Maharashtra should at minimum double its healthcare spending if it wants to come to the average of about 14 to 1500 rupees per capita. It is now spending about 800 rupees per capita.
In fact, for a state that prides itself on being the most progressive in the country, Maharashtra has an abysmal human development record. Mumbai as well presents a sorry picture. Though to be fair, the government is trying to rectify that, and the hope is that it will be reflected in the budget on the 18th of March.
If we are able to simplify the governance and build up capacity, governance is a broad, big term. What it really means is, to my mind, two things. One, that the capacities to implement and work through the processes that are there, whilst at the same time simplifying these processes. If we are able to do that, then the government will be able to spend more.
In the year 2016-17, Maharashtra government spent only half of what was allocated, about 47% of a total budget outlay of 3 lakh crore rupees. With the electoral compulsions behind them, the man on the street really hopes that this time around, the focus will be on implementation. Amata Balachandra for Magic Bricks Now.
Moving on now to the dying lakes of Bengaluru. First it was Belandur Lake and now it's Vartur Lake. Toxic foam is bubbling out of Vartur Lake yet again and spilling over onto the adjacent national highway. Residents allege that the situation is getting worse with every passing day. Shrija gets us more details.
One of the biggest water bodies in Bengaluru is frothing yet again. Only this time it is the Vartur Lake. As you can see right behind me, the foam that has been spilling onto the roads has been making pretty difficult for both the commuters as well as the pedestrians to pass on this particular Vartur National Highway number 35. Also, what we understand from the residents is that even though an expert committee was formed by Mahendra Jain, the Urban Development Department, the additional chief secretary, almost 3 months ago, they had in fact come up with the long-term measures as well as the short-term measures, being installation of aerators as well as STPs. The first step, that is the stopping of sewage water flowing into this very lake, has not been taken. In fact, no action has been taken so far against people who has been letting out the sewage water still flowing into this very lake. Also, what we understand from the residents is that the stench emanating from this very lake has made it pretty difficult, unbearable to live in this very stretch of road. Also, what we understand is that very recently in the budget, the Karnataka budget, CM Siddaramaiah had clearly mentioned that they are going to allocate at least 42 crores for the development of 10 lakes. Also, there was no clarity on, especially as far as the Vartur and the Belandur Lake is concerned. In Bengaluru, Shrija for Magic Bricks Now.
That's a wrap on the Urban Debate 360. Stay with Magic Bricks Now.